thank you for joining us today for Leadership Global's Breakthrough Power Hour Roundtable series with the one and only Dagmar Fleming. I'm Linda Fisk. I'm the chairwoman of Leadership Global, a confidential, supported, and private community for influential women all around the world. As a member of Leadership Global, you have the opportunity to be inspired and motivated by other women leaders who will cheer you on, offer you objective counsel, and support you to greater levels of success and impact. So if you'd like to learn more about this incredibly empowering community of women experts and thought leaders, please don't hesitate to reach out. It would be my pleasure to speak to any of you about this incredible community. Now, let me just ask, do you feel like you're often working hard in your business, but not seeing the full progress, results, or impact that you really want? Do you feel stuck in a cycle of frustration, wondering why your efforts aren't translating into the success that you envision? Well, if that sounds familiar, it's time to break through all the hidden barriers that are holding you back and unleash your business's true potential. Now, we invite you to jump into the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from and drop your contact information in the chat if you want to build connections. And this month's topic is going to be amazing. Today, we're going to talk about how to create an unstoppable vision to be able to craft a compelling future for your business. Now, many entrepreneurs think and act way too small. They limit their potential for growth, but this session will guide you in crafting a compelling and expansive future for your business, helping you realize what truly is possible. You're going to learn how to push beyond boundaries, identifying and overcoming the mental and emotional barriers that keep you thinking small, enabling you to embrace bigger, bolder goals for your business and achieve truly extraordinary results. We're going to talk about expanding your vision, learning techniques to broaden your perspective and envision a future far beyond your current limitations. Now, if that doesn't sound incredibly enticing, I don't know what does. Everyone, I think, in 2025 is hoping to embrace bigger, bolder goals for your business and achieve extraordinary results. And you're also going to dive deep into strategic planning, learning about 3 powerful growth strategies to develop a comprehensive plan that will turn your expansive vision into reality. And next, you're going to have enhanced focus and direction. You're going to be able to gain clarity on your business objectives and the steps needed to reach them, leading to increased direction in your daily operations. I got to tell you, this is one of the most powerful roundtables we have. The Breakthrough Power Hour with Dagmar is a highly immersive, transformative experience that includes live coaching opportunities, helping you identify and overcome the root causes of stagnation, of feeling apathetic, and it empowers you to experience a quantum leap in your business success. Now, before we get going, I have the great honor of introducing you to our expert for this roundtable, Dagmar Fleming. Dagmar is a success mentor. She's a mindset expert and the developer of the triple quantum reset modality. It's a transformative approach designed to help leaders overcome mental, emotional, and energetic blocks for personal and professional success. As a 4-time best-selling author and the founder of Unlock Your Success, she offers mentorship programs that guide individuals through significant growth and achievement. Her expertise in mindset transformation has led her to be a sought-after speaker at leadership summits, motivational summits, symposiums, and she's been alongside figures like Les Brown, Sharon Lechter, Diana Wentworth, and Dr. Joe Vitale. Dagmar's strategies deliver deep, impactful changes, leading clients through substantial breakthroughs. She's also the leader of the Athena Circle, where she focuses on empowering women to reach their full potential. Please help me welcome the one and only Dagmar Fleming.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Linda. Happy New Year, everyone. And congrats on stepping in and creating a massive vision for this year and beyond. I see familiar faces, so I'm super excited. As always, this is going to be super immersive and fun because if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. And as entrepreneurs, we are pursuing our passion. So, hey, why not make it super fun? So today, let's talk about visioning. And vision is something that is absolutely fundamental for any business owners to move forward and create exponential growth. Unfortunately, most of the time we get stuck in the past and we use it as evidence of what can happen in the future. So, any mistakes, mishaps, failures, is what we tend to really focus on, magnify in our mind, and then take that as evidence that future is uncertain and we might not create what we want. So today I want to create your new vision in a few steps that will give you confidence in everything you've been able to accomplish up to this point. So if you guys are ready, put yes in the chat or gung ho. Well, let's get on with it. Whatever rocks your boat. So we're going to go through a few exercises and you'll be able to share and celebrate. So the first exercise is that I want us to look at the last 10 years of your business and your professional life, your career, and really reflect on what has happened over the last decade, just to make sure that you recognize your own achievements. So the first question is, let's work with 2024 because we just started 2025. So imagine that you are sitting in a special car from the Back to the Future and you're transported to 2014. So grab a piece of paper, a pen, and write down what was happening in 2014. By the way, for me, that's when I got the vision for Unlock Your Success. So I dissolved my global consulting company and created mentorship programs. So, what was a big event for you in your business and in your life in 2014? Go ahead and jot down these markers for yourself. Anything that stands out. It could be also personal if you had major changes in your relationship status or anything at all, just to drop us into that time frame. And when you've got it, put yes in the chat. All right, we've got the first yes. And now what I'm going to invite you is to reflect over that last decade. What have you accomplished in your business? Start from a very big perspective, big picture. Where you were in 2014 and where you are now. And start listing all major accomplishments. And often entrepreneurs seek external validation. So our idea of success would be what others perceived us to accomplish. But I invite you today also to look at how did you show up for yourself? what kind of life have you created as a result of pursuing your passions? And when you're done, say yes in the chat so we know you're ready. There's no rush, but I need to know where you guys are. Wonderful. So let's talk about it. And here's why. When we pay attention to what's going right, we magnify that energy. We create a focus in our brain that says, this is what I perceive as satisfying. And therefore, we literally create neurological pathway through which the brain signals travel to make sure that we start perceiving the world from the perspective of accomplishment. So speaking about your achievements is paramount to continue to grow as a business person. As entrepreneur, there is no space for being timid or feeling like you're just boasting. It's actually required for your brain to continue to power up and continue to expand your vision of what you think is possible. So who would like to say or to share some of your major accomplishments of the last decade so we can celebrate with you? Thank you, Joanne. Come on down to a virtual space. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. So if I reflect back in 2014, that was a period of time I was building my very large company. So in 2014, we actually merged 20 companies into our one company. And that was massive, but it was a huge achievement for the bigger vision of the business. So that's what happened in 2014. And what I've achieved over the last 10 years is that we Navigate Biz was launched. I went into business with a very good friend of mine. During COVID, we supported 10,000 businesses to navigate the journey of COVID. I moved to the Gold Coast to be closer to my mum, which I was really pleased about. And I feel it was at that time, over the last 5 years, I've spent more time working on me and taking control, or what I feel is control, because I'm more aware of the importance of internal work as well as the external planning and business visioning.
Well, let me ask you, by the way, congratulations, Joanne. That is amazing. 10,000 businesses. Wow. I wish I could say that. Let me ask you this. Do you feel that you, over the last 10 years, have given yourself permission to celebrate how much you've accomplished?
I would say to you, it's more only recently that I've felt acknowledged the necessity of it to help me to transition through the things that have happened in my life. I think a lot of it I've put down there and thought, oh no, don't talk about it. But and I feel much better for it, Dagmar, I have to say, is celebrating and talking about it. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So would it be okay for you to say, I am amazing?
I'm awesome.
But boy, if it's me, then there has to be a little bit of cussing. So I usually say, I am bloody amazing. I'm bloody awesome. But I don't think Linda's gonna like it.
I would
So
probably use a different word, but
By
yes,
the way, that's totally true
I
for
agree.
both of you, Joanne and Dagmar, both amazing leaders, incredible coaches. Yes, incredible business strategists. So I second that. You both are
Thank you.
amazing, incredible.
and so are you, Linda. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Joanna, for volunteering. And um, I wanted us to really have that vocal affirmation because let's just face it, as business owners, our task lists are never ending and never fulfilled because as soon as you're done with one, there's another one chasing the previous one. And sometimes we don't take time to look and say, wow, I can't believe this is the person who I am today. And when I compare myself to who I was before. So let's talk about it a little bit more. By the way, what you see is that I am trying to create in our group an energetic enclave, like a frequency pocket that says, this is juicy, this is awesome. I can't believe how much I've done because that frequency feels good. And it's the frequency that we want to use when we create the vision for the next 10 years. So, could I invite anyone else to come forward and tell us about your achievements of the last decade? I mean, if there was a time to brag, now is the time. So, whether it's Angel or Madhuri, I hope that I pronounce it correctly. Please join us, say hello, and tell us what you've accomplished. Hello.
Hi. Gosh, I'm really struggling with this question. I hadn't sat down to reflect on 10-year periods, but you're forcing me to think about it. I think my major accomplishment in last 10 years, professionally, I think it was 10 years ago that I first started working in an executive role. I've been in multiple organizations since and had a chance to make significant impacts through that role. Um, I am in the human capital side of human resources. So working with the C-suite and impacting culture is where I feel my legacy has been with each organization that I've been with. Um, and at the home front, personal front, the last 10 years has been all about watching my son take on the journey of medical school, and graduating, and now a young doctor. Because that's what's coming up for me last 10 years.
And it's wonderful. And the fact that we normally don't do this is precisely why we are in the Breakthrough Power Hour, because it gives you that time to do that emotional work and mental and energetic. Because what we create through alignment of the body, mind, and spirit. The emotions have to be on par with the dream. The thoughts have to align with the new version that we're creating of ourselves. And then energetically, we're the magnets for what we're putting out. So when we celebrate the last 10 years, that's when we literally create fuel for what's coming next. This is why it's so important to celebrate. One of the exercises that I'm going to share with you right away from Unlock Your Success program will help you to do just that, to push the energy forward. Would you like the exercise? If so, say yes in the chat. It's simple, but very powerful. So proceed with caution. It can lead you to amazing exponential growth in your business and quantum leap. So here it comes. All right, Madhuri says yes. Joanne says yes. We're not sure about Angel. So Angel, if you're not sure, just close your ears. Here's what we do to reprogram the subconscious mind. At the end of each night, you recall 3 wins of that day. Even if hurricane went through your town, even if the business is just all over the place, chaos is ruling your day, you're going to put the blinders on and focus on what was right. And trust me, there were days where when the only thing that was good for me was the fact that I did the dishes. And I still would go to bed and say, it was a good day, dishes are done. Okay. But the reason we do that is because we need to train the brain to have focus. And that focus has to be properly directed. Remember, we create what we focus on. So when you recall accomplishments and achievements in a consistent manner, you're telling your brain, let's not worry about what didn't get right. Let's focus on everything that excelled me, brought me to the next level, brought me a client, anything, even if it's just one email. So one of the very first articles I ever wrote was called the glass is always full, even if it's just a drop. Because when you look at a glass, you can see drop and be satisfied that you've got one. I bet when you're walking through a desert, that one drop seems pretty darn good, doesn't it? Or you can look at the empty glass. So the reason we're looking back at the last 10 years is because I want to invite you to really embody that success, to really say to yourself, never mind all the bad stuff. We all had it. Congratulations, you're human. Welcome to planet Earth. But if we take a moment and truly focus on, I started a company, I did this, even if one went down, no, I started a new one. What's a big deal? I've grown through for this experience. So we are elevating ourselves, and then consistently every day, the last thing that you put in your brain is those wins for the day. And to see a win also takes a training in your brain, because most of us as entrepreneurs look at failures and perceived mistakes. But is there really such thing as a failure? Think about it. Who is an expert in any field? My definition, a person that failed so many times, they know exactly what not to do. How would they know otherwise what to do, right? I mean, you had to kind of fall into every pothole to know that, oh yeah, well, don't go this way. And then you can teach others not to do that. So what if everything along the journey of the last 10 years was building you up, was bringing you to the level of expertise and leadership that you possess today? In other words, there was nothing wrong over the last 10 years, only growing, expansion, and accomplishments. So with this energy, but before I move on, would Angel or Clara want to come in and celebrate your accomplishments of the last 10 years? We don't force anyone to volunteer, but I highly encourage it. I have to behave here because this is Leadership Global. If you were in my event, I would volunteer you. So I'm trying to be on my best behavior. All right. Angel says she doesn't have a business, so she can listen. Well, guess what, Angel? You don't have to have a business. You had accomplishments. They could have been personal transformation, development, growth, relationships. So please do not feel in any way restricted on what you could celebrate. We will celebrate it all. All right. So now let's move on to last year. 2024, back into that magic car that travels back and forth. Let's rewind to the beginning of 2024 and then 12 months. What were your core accomplishments that year? Something that you're really proud of, but also something that you did not give yourself permission to recognize. Or, you discounted as, well, I had to do it. But what was cool about it? Did you learn a new skill? Did you launch a new program? Maybe you created a vision for your new business, found a new mentor, joined a new organization. Anything at all. The last 12 months.
Say that again. You want us to think about
Both professional and personal. It
a
can
new
be spiritual, anything that you consider to be an asset to your growth, something that you are proud of, your accomplishment, achievement, in the broadest sense, because the definition of success is extremely personal.
Well, I'd like to maybe dive in a little bit, if it's okay for me to offer something. Our brand promise is to accelerate success for women in positions of leadership all over the world. So the way that I tend to measure success is the success of the members of Leadership Global. And so if they are able to achieve a particular milestone or an achievement or accomplishment that they identified as being critical or key to whatever their definition of success is, then I consider that to be a win for Leadership Global. And so we do a survey once a year looking at the impact of Leadership Global with all of our members. And this year we had members who said that their nonprofit was fully funded through Leadership Global, or that they developed a new division of their company that now represents almost 40% of their revenue, or they were able to step on speaker stages that represented, about $150,000 of revenue through Leadership Global, through the opportunities we've given them, and on and on. So as I read those stories, as I read those accomplishments of our members, to believe that we had something to do with that level of success is, for me, the definition of success. To feel as though that we played a part in getting them access to the resources or the tools or the connections or the introductions or the platforms that they needed to take that next step in their definition of success, whatever that looks like, is really how we measure our own impact and our own success as an organization. So really, it's about the success, if you want to think of it in a business model, the success of our clients indicates our success as a consultancy. So if our clients, meaning our members, are successful, then we can say we've been successful in initiating and executing on our mission and vision, which is helpful. So I don't know if that maybe is a bit of a thought-provoking kind of analogy for anybody else on the call, but you can think of success also in terms of how you're impacting people around you, right? So if you kind of turn the tables, you don't think about your own success, but you think of the impact that you've helped facilitate, that could open up a whole new area of feeling like, wow, it is important that I'm on planet Earth right now. I am making an impact. There is a positive impact to my life. And so even if, Angel, you say, I'm not a business owner, you could say, but I am positively impacting the people around me, and here's how. I don't know if that's helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you. And to add to that, by the way, if you are struggling with understanding or writing down what your success is, then you're just at the right spot, because what we're doing is we're literally training your brain to observe reality from the standpoint of achievement. And that can be very personal. For example, I did my diving certification in a very cold and dark lake in Texas, not in some beautiful Mexican ocean or Gulf waters where you see everything and it's peachy and it's nice. It was freaking scary. So this is one of my biggest accomplishments of my life. I survived in a completely vague environment, set out to go in direction far away and then somehow come back. That's a big thing for me. And I celebrate that because, I don't care how you got your diving certification. Mine took a lot of effort. Also, look at your health. I lost a size, which for a woman who's, in what kind of stage of her life, that's a freaking pretty big deal. So you can look at all kinds of ways that you show up in life and in business and really celebrate small wins. Perhaps, you designed a new program or decided to test waters with a new webinar. Did you speak at an event, summit, or podcast? Did you find collaboration partners? I think Joanne just put it, she secured two. These are big deals because this is what happens. When you tell the brain, I really loved it, that I found two collaborators for marketing promotion. Now your brain is going to seek evidence that this is good thing, which means it's going to bring you more joint venture affiliates and other marketing partners. It's the power of focus, power of emotion that is overflowing. If you think about it, what programs the subconscious mind? It's never neutrality. In other words, when you're kind of, oh yeah, what's a big deal? I was speaking in a podcast. Well, too bad. You're not going to get a lot of new podcast invitations, because there is nothing to program subconscious mind. It has to be either super excited or super negative. Now, we don't want to program for negative. We want to go into excitement. So when you amp up your excitement, that's when the subconscious mind starts saying, oh, she really likes it. Should we throw some more podcast opportunities at her? By the way, I teach that in my Financial Freedom Unleashed Intensive. And this exercise you can use to money. So when I see a penny on the street, I pick it up and I'm like, wow, a penny! Did not have to work for it. How great it is when the universe sends me money I did not earn. Yeah, 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 right? So I'm really exaggerating the response, because when you pick a penny and you're that excited, guess what? Then I found $100 bill and I did the same dance and, to tell the universe, this is working. Yeah, yeah, keep sending money I don't have to work so hard for. So all of these achievements we're recognizing for you today, that's what we're doing. We're doing that ecstatic dance to tell the brain, I'm a badass. I'm a kick-ass. I mean, imagine what I can do in the next 10 years. So we just need to amp up the energy a little bit before I put you into the vision for the next 10 years. So we got a few people that joined us. Sarah, welcome. Could we bring you to the stage and ask you to celebrate whatever happened in the last 12 months that you feel really proud for?
In the last 12 months. I thought you were going to say something simple like last few days. Okay, so last 12 months. I have a bunch of events in March scheduled. I'm doing a pop-up in Tucson, Arizona, March 14th, I think, and that's built around this whole huge like women's golf tournament kind of thing. We're doing like a pop-up there. And because I'm going to be in Tucson and have my collection there, now I'm also going to be doing a pop-up in Phoenix that week because I'll be close by. So those they haven't happened yet. But those have all been scheduled. Those were kind of scheduled in the first one was scheduled in August for that. So that's some probably highlight.
Yeah, we're talking about congratulations on that, by the way. That's super awesome. Thanks. So yay. But think the last 12 months. Like you had, I know you had events that you participated as a sponsor and you were really putting a lot of champagne events. I know you were having a presentation to C-suite. I mean, you were showing up everywhere last year, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, we've had a lot of, especially kind of summer and into the early fall, had a lot of, just momentum, I guess, for that, and a lot of great events and a lot of recognition, I think, by people that are referring to their friends and wanting to, design clothes for themselves and things like that. So, no, that was all very exciting. And then a lot of those led to, different relationships or introductions for that. So,
wonderful.
So lots of very exciting things that, again, I think all of those relationships have led to the, even just more opportunities for that. So.
Awesome. So I'm going to now ask all of you to look back. And by the way, welcome to Allison. Allison is a long-standing member of the Athena Circle. Delighted she's hopped in. Let's evaluate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 on how pumped up you are about your own accomplishments of the last 10 years. 1 is like, did not give myself much recognition. 10 is like, I think I'm amazing. Right? So let's see how you judge yourself on a scale from 1 to 10 for the last 10 years of your life.
Linda, you are definitely a 10.
Well, whether I deserve that truly or not, I always am excited about what's happening in my life, like always. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah. And I can't.
No, you're phenomenal.
Talk about what we were chatting about. So let's
Yeah.
All right.
I would love that.
So here are the results of this survey. Based on everything that I've just said, what do you think that score should be for absolutely everyone on this call?
Okay.
11, that's right.
I think it should be 15,
I'm changing.
right?
I'm changing.
Based on what you're saying. If we're going to be badasses, it should be 15.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
we're reassessing.
We are our own worst critics, right? And it's hard to self-congratulate when, I mean, I would argue that most of us had a vision of what success looks like, and we got close to it for the most part. I mean, few of us exceed in exceeding those expectations. So it's almost very hard to say, yay, I'm a badass, because I didn't quite get to where I wanted to be. Now, the fault can be in being too ambitious. So how do you calibrate to a level where you can truly feel proud of what you've done without sort of
I want to
goals? Go ahead.
I want Dagmar to answer this for sure. She is the expert, but one thing that I've heard that I am completely guilty of is that, we set these goals and we do these things and we accomplish these things, but we're constantly moving the marker. And I think what Dagmar is saying is like, yeah, it's great to keep achieving, but we've got to remember to celebrate, hey, we did do that. We did do that. And we did do that. And yeah, we keep wanting to be better and better. But I think that's part of what she's saying is like celebrate so that this is comes easier, I guess. But yeah, because we keep moving the mark. Because every time we make something, it's like, but okay, well now I want to achieve this. So then we look back and we're like, yeah, I'm not there yet. It's like, well, no, look how far we came.
Example, she said, "Thank you, universe, for giving me a penny turned into $100." And for me, I think that's so apt. That's exactly why I gave my life a 10. It's not that I'm a badass, but that my life is abundantly blessed, and I am poignantly aware of how much abundance I live in. And I would feel that way if I lived in a paper bag. I really think that, because I just feel like my life is just anointed, and I've been blessed, and God digs me, and He has been giving to me incredibly abundantly, generously, my whole freaking life. And how could I look at my life and not be like, this rocks? I mean, I have health, I have friends, I have family, I have a house, I have a great dog, an amazing husband. Like, I'm set, right? And I just think the more that you recognize everything that you've been given, there's just no way you can look at your life and say, I kind of suck. I didn't hit $10 million this year. I didn't get that, Jaguar I was hoping for. I don't have a pool in my backyard or whatever. Instead, you can look around and go, I've got a full refrigerator. Damn, I am doing great. Or whatever. I just feel like you can live in gratitude no matter where you are. And yeah, you can strive for more, but you can say, look at where I've come from. If y'all knew how I grew up, my story is not so different from Dagmar's. The fact that I have a house and a car and a bank account, I mean, shit, I've got life by the tail is how I feel.
Wonderful.
Feeling it, Linda.
All true. And here's what I'm going to give you another magic word. And the magic, well, actually 2 words. I don't know, that sounds like excessive. Can I give you 2 words? So here they come to answer all of your questions. It's called even more. So what I mean by that, I was successful and I'm looking forward to creating even more success. So instead of saying, oh, I hit 7 out of my 10 goals, I don't know, it was kind of okay. No, I was successful. I am successful. And universe, I'm ready for more. Now, what that does is I'm riding the success frequency. And again, you can only create what you exude. So if you are smashing yourself or criticizing yourself or doubting yourself because, well, I only did 7 out of 10. Well, unfortunately, that's what you're creating in the future. You're still creating 7 out of 10. But if you say, you know what, the universe, the last 10 years was phenomenal. OMG squared. I was successful. I am successful. I'm ready for even more. You'll notice that you'll start using even more in all of your conversations. Like, I would like even more podcasts. I would like even more clients. I would like even higher revenue. You start looking for more because you've acknowledged where you are now. So, in other words, you're riding on a frequency of abundance as opposed to lack. Make sense? Right? So you can look at the last 10 years and say, yes, it was phenomenal. I'm going to focus on everything I did accomplish, and I want even more of that in the future. So with that, if we're ready for even more, put even more in the chat. And we're going to look at the next 10 years because you are all wonderful, powerful women that are ready to create an expanded version of yourself, the one that will quantum leap in the next 10 decades. And if you accomplish that much in one decade, imagine what you can create in another. Imagine all the wisdom, talents, and skills you accumulated up to this point. The person you are today is nowhere near the person that you were in 2014. Can you imagine how much you've changed? How much wisdom you've accumulated, even experience? How many things you've tried that didn't get the way, didn't give you the results you wanted, didn't go the way you wanted, and yet you refined, recalibrated, and here you are today. I mean, that's amazing. So take a moment and write down, what would you wish to accomplish in the next decade of your life? Don't worry about satisfying anybody's idea of who you should be or what you should accomplish. Just think about, if I did this in the first 10 years, wow, what can I do and accomplish in another decade? So take the persona of the last 10 years, not where you are today, not, your yesterday's version. We're taking the version of you that holds the entire decade of experience, and we're going to put her in charge of creating a vision for the next 10 years. And she's a badass.
Mhm.
So reflect for a moment and jot down the kind of, wow, if I did this, then I think I'm going to do that. Because success is inevitable.
Just putting it in that frame, in that framework, changed everything, because now what I was thinking before seems so small. So small.
Exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. This little exercise, if we do every year, I mean, it will really change the trajectory that we're on. Because, here's the point I want to share with you. Most business owners lack patience. We want it now, we want it tomorrow, but mostly we want it yesterday. And yet Lao Tzu said that the journey of 1,000 miles begin with just one step. So why do we press for immediate verification that we're on the right track when we know that divine consciousness, the universe, the quantum field, the reality needs time for you to accomplish these big goals? Even in terms of your growing up, think 0 to 10. How much you leap, that's a quantum leap in your own consciousness, going through, here I popped into this existence. I was learning how to speak, how to crawl, then how to walk, and then I had to learn how to write. I mean, look at that leap in your life. And then, 10 to 20, we really need to start thinking decades, because your soul is pulling you to such a big version of yourself that it requires steps in between. And if you show up knowing that you've got time to be absolutely the biggest, baddest version of yourself, then everything along the way becomes easy, because you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be already in the expertise from 2035. that will come 10 years from now on. But bring all your accomplishments with you into every day. That will create such an incredible confidence for you and the way you show up. And there will be no fear of judgment because, again, mishaps are simply part of the journey. What's the point of judging yourself for something that didn't go right? You're just becoming an expert. Congratulations. You tried digital funnels, didn't work out. Okay, well, I need to change my funnel. You tried Facebook ads, if it flopped, well, maybe my audience is on LinkedIn. You constantly refine how you show up so that in 10 years, you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, so I tried this, I tried that. This didn't work, but boy, did I find the golden route. And you wouldn't have if you didn't allow yourself to try these different options. But the mindset of success gives you an address in an energetic GPS that says, this is where I'm going. And I celebrate me along the way because it's me, it's my brain, it's my consciousness that is constantly expanding my vision of what is possible for me to accomplish. So who wants to share the most amazing concepts that are popping into your head of what you would like to accomplish in the next 10 years? Something you didn't even think about, before we did this exercise, and it helped you recognize what you've already accomplished in the last decade. Go ahead, Joanne.
By the end of 10 years, I'll have a scholarship program in place for 1,000 women a year. I will have a grant program in place for business owners per year. I will own my own home again. I'll have a client base of 1,000 women. I travel first class, and I'm only working 20 hours a week. That's just some of them.
That sounds amazing. You're on your way, girl. The rocket is taking off. Who
You
else?
killed it with the 20 hours a week thing. Goodness. After those big numbers,
Why not?
back to back, you go to 20. I'm like, oh goodness, how do you do that? So
Well,
inspiring.
When you
That's
develop the team, right, Joanne?
Yeah.
Correct. And automation, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So what other visions do you have? You can put it in a chat. You can come and let us celebrate with you. Maybe you want to quadruple, quintuple your revenue. Maybe you want to affect X amount of a number of people. Perhaps you want to have your books published. Do you want to be on the serving on a board of a charity? Anything that's coming to your mind in this expanded frequency is, we can say, your soul guiding you to look at what else is possible. By the way, if that vision feels scary, that means it's a good one. Because if there is nothing in your body registering change, that means you're just floating on easy. That slight discomfort with how big that vision is telling you that your limbic system, which is your amygdala, is noticing that you're thinking way outside of your typical comfort zone. So that's exactly where you're supposed to be. Because all the good stuff is always behind the walls of your self-imposed comfort prison, right? Which we always do. All right. So place your visions in the chat if you want to, something really cool that occurred to you to do. And then now I would like to give you simple strategies to manage that vision. Again, I've just said that, when you have a big vision, truly beyond your comfort zone, it creates fear, discomfort, and the feeling that you want to pull away. So the first question that I always recommend to ask yourself, it's very simple, but powerful. And that question is, why is it so easy? So whatever your goal is, add why is it so easy? Why is it so easy to serve 100,000 clients within this decade? Why is it so easy to publish my book and become the best-selling author? Why is it so easy to, create a global community? Why is it so easy to start my business and have it take off and accelerate within 12 months? What happens is when you're putting the word easy into your brain, it is mandated to give you the response that is easy. In other words, it's like opening doors and windows and pulling the curtains so the new fresh air can come in. When we start asking ourselves, wow, this is not possible, this is overwhelming, I'm a little bit scared, it kind of shuts down the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that can actually come up with solutions or answers. But if you ask, why is it so easy? It has to give you the answer. I mean, this is so brilliant. Brain is like a dog. You say sit, it sits. You say yap, it yaps. So you say, why is it so easy? It has to give you the answer. And wouldn't you rather find out why is it so easy than why is it so hard or difficult, right? And yet how many times we look at something and immediately, oh, why is it so hard? By the way, I used to hate accounting so much that I avoided it and did all the accounting in 2 weeks before the deadline for the taxes. And I knew that this is not sustainable. So for a week, I kept asking myself, why is it so easy to do the accounting? And then when I finally started doing it, turns out it is pretty easy, especially when you've got software that does this for you, right? So sometimes we simply have to overcome fears of the unknown by using the word easy. If you like that, put easy in the chat. And then the second question is, what one small step can I take today? Because think about it. If it took you 10 years to become this badass woman that you are here today, that's 3,650 days. You didn't have to do it all in 1 hour or 1 minute. You had a lot of steps along the way, and yet you did arrive at this amazing accomplishment that you can claim today. So do you need to figure out how the next 10 years will unroll and plug every turn along the way in your GPS? No, you don't. So all you have to say is just, what can I do today towards my vision, towards my destination? If you want to run $1 million business, you don't have to do it tomorrow. But there is a different action that you take when you build to that business. For example, when I was investing in my marketing software, I could have gone the typical route, going with 300 or 200 emails through MailChimp. I didn't have any list. I just started my business. So a lot of entrepreneurs will look at that and say, okay, well, let me do something that is economical or free. And there's nothing wrong with that. But my vision was already in fully functioning business and digital funnels. So I invested in $200 a month platform. that give me membership portals and digital funnels and a website and shopping cart. I was building a much bigger business from the start. And I just needed to take one step towards that vision. And at that point, that one little step was, well, let me create a foundation for what I will be building so I have resources and I don't have to switch platforms as I grow. I'm just going to go gung-ho into the platform that can accommodate me and my vision and my growth. And then I needed to learn it. So I gave myself permission to learn to use all of its resources as I was building my email list. So when you look at your vision, what one small step can you take today? But it is not a step towards smallness. It is not a step to playing safe. It's small because it's just one. But it's a giant leap because it's towards the vision for the next 10 years. Can you see how you will take small step with giant implications? Because you're going after a 10-year vision, not after what's right in front of you. And this is a different decision-making process. And by the way, if you want to witness this kind of thinking, then our ferocious leader, Linda, is doing this all the time. So let's look at some examples of a different small step that you would take, but it's a step towards that big vision. Does anyone have an idea, or would you like to run it by me so I give you some coaching? Go ahead, Joanne.
I guess I've had similar thought processes to you, Dagmar. So the things that I do or have done is I can deliver coaching one-on-one, but I know that's not scalable. So I've created an online program so that it speaks to the bigger vision of the volume of people who are going to come through my community, if you will. So whilst it took a bit of time to create that, it was with the bigger vision in mind, in that I can't do it all myself one-on-one. I have to put a system in place, just like you spoke about. Putting a system in place so that it is scalable for the bigger vision, I guess, is what comes to mind when you ask that question.
Beautiful. And it's exactly what we're talking about. So let me give you example that's similar to that. We all have email lists, and I write articles every single Tuesday on LinkedIn. It's called Success Unlocked. You're welcome to subscribe. So I know every week my audience will receive at least one email, but there are times when I might be traveling or do something, and I might not be there to communicate with my subscribers. So I've created sequences, 52 emails for 52 weeks. And I allow those sequences to communicate with my audience. Now, these are written by me. These are my words. But instead of writing them every single week, now I've got the entire sequence. So if you come into my universe, whether you come in January, February, or August, that sequence will keep you in touch with who I am and the teachings and resources that I provide. In other words, we're building it for the future. And yes, it may be slightly time intensive when you're building that sequence, but think about the savings of time in the long run, and also it takes you out of this immediate what's in front of my feet mindset. In other words, writing the email as we go is more reactive. I'm speaking here, I've got a workshop coming, join my Unlock Your Money Story masterclass. those happen as we go. But when you start creating a sequence of 52 communications with your audience, now you have to sit down and ask yourself, who am I? What do I want to say to my audience? What do I want to teach them? What transformation would I like them to receive? So, for example, for the Athena Circle, I created a sequence called Manifestation Muse, because a lot of women in the Athena Circle want to expand the law of attraction and quantum manifestation and really play with those possibilities of magnetically attracting clients. So we give them a series of resources that drop every Sunday and allow you to reflect. So again, I'm taking a small step. It's just a sequence, but it's step to build relationship with my audience for years to come. And the beauty of it is I can keep expanding it. At certain point, it's going to be 104 emails, and then it's going to be 200. Think how much time you will free up to build the community. And if it's built well, it will last, because now as more members to come in, I don't have to think about repeating myself or trying so hard for everyone to get to know me, right? Sarah, let's talk about you. What could you do? I'm not sure if she's available because I think she said she had to take a call. So Sarah or Allison, whoever's on the call, what is it that you could do to set the foundation for growth? What new procedure, process that you can implement that will truly set you up for success? And I'm happy, by the way, to brainstorm with you. Sarah, for example, does a lot of events, right? So do I. So for me, event posting automation is a big deal. And when I started working with my VA, I had to take a moment and write down all the steps, no matter how minuscule, of what it takes to post it on LinkedIn, promote it on different platforms, put it in my CRM system. In other words, once I created that system, I was able to give it to her and say, use that from this point on. So not a big step. Like if somebody would look and say, well, what's this to do with your 10-year vision? Well, actually a lot, because I have to show up for my vision. And if I'm doing the little things, administrative things that somebody else could do for me, my vision instead of 10 years is now going to take 20. So let's do some coaching on the spot if you would like to. Part of the Breakthrough Power Hour is to look at your unique situation and help you shift out of it. So does anyone want to talk about your business, your life, anything at all? No? All right, I'm going to go home.
I was a little distracted trying to get this video to come on.
Hello, Alison. So good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So how can we help you when you think about your vision?
Well, it's very interesting because I'm a day trader, so I don't have any clients. I don't, it's just me, myself, and I. So everything that I get out of these, and I get a lot out of these meetings, these kinds of meetings, I apply to me. I have to, how do I want to talk to myself? How do I want to make myself a better trader? So for 2025, I want to hold my trades longer. And I was trying to write a process around that, but it wasn't coming real easily. And then I'd come to this meeting and then I asked myself, why is it so easy? And then it's just so easy. So thank you for that.
Well, and thank you for saying that. This is how quickly we can tell the brain to look at everything differently, right?
It's awesome. It is really so powerful how the brain just keeps wanting to go back to that judgmental brain and judge myself. Just wants to go back, and then every time I hear just one or two sentences, it's like, okay, let me get back to the person I want to be.
And by the way, thank you for saying that, because a lot of my coaching with my clients is to create the discipline of how we look at life, at our results, at our visions. And it's minor tweaks that have the biggest reverberations in our business and in life. So think about the exercise I shared with you from Unlock Your Success program. Recall 3 wins every day. How long do you think would it take you to do that? By the way, I recommend to write it down, because you're using the body consciousness to embody the success. But time-wise, what are we talking about?
Take moments.
Exactly.
Moments.
Yeah, 60 seconds. Now, what do you think is gonna change if you use these 60 seconds for wins? How will your brain start working differently?
Well,
Everything will change.
everything changes. I will say, Dagmar, I do it the moment I wake up. Like, I visualize it. The moment I wake up, I think about the things that I'm grateful for. But in the and I've only ever done it mentally, so I'm going to implement what you suggest to write it down. But I do it. I dovetail the day, start it, and I finish the day that way. It just feels it's a lovely start to the day, I find,
Mhm.
and it's
Yes,
a way to close the day. But I do love, why is it so easy to something, something, something. I've not heard that one before, so I absolutely will do that, because I am somebody who, because I reflect on the past a lot, but I also reflect on the things that didn't work for me. And so lack is something that I have to manage and shift out. So I really like that. So I thank you for sharing that tool, because I'm going to give it a go. Thank you.
absolutely. And it's easy.
Yay!
Yes.
How good is that?
Life could be so much easier if we programmed it for ease.
Yes, yeah.
By the way, for 2025, a lot of people always look for one word that is like a main theme for that year. And I have to tell you, when I meditated on my theme for 2025, that's what came in, is easy. And I've been working with hardship consciousness for many years, so this is not new. But this year, I am mastering easy squared. And what that means is that I have to take easy to the next level of consciousness, next level of awareness, next level of quantum manifestation, to be super diligent and disciplined at use of ease in my life, to allow flow, to receive as opposed to project and manifest. So again, easy is not something that we learn to operate on instantaneously, only because absolutely everything in cultural, societal, and even religious consciousness is programming hardship.
Yeah.
Think about how many times you've heard, I work hard for my money, or, I deserve it because I was putting so much effort into it. And then somehow, if you work hard and you're a good person, you'll end up in heaven. So hardship is programmed into our consciousness so deeply at the cellular and even DNA level that when you start trying to operate on ease, the part of you that's used to hardship starts pushing back. So we absolutely have to diligently step out and say, whoa, why am I spinning my wheels? Does this sound like ease, or does this sound like hardship? And we need to step out of this story. So we can still do a lot of things and accomplish a lot of things, but it has to be on a frequency of ease. Here's an example of frequency of hardship or ease applied. If you say to yourself, I have to write an article, I have to write an article, what will it be about? Oh my goodness, what will people want to hear? What's popular? I don't know what to do. Does this sound like ease? No. So the true ease is when you are in such a creative flow that you have so much to say that instead you sit down and you think, wow, I've got so many ideas of what I want to share with my clients. What is most passionate in this moment? And then you let that flow through you immediately because it's easy, because it's the most passionate in this moment, right? So that's an application of ease as opposed to hardship. And when we are in a hardship, that's when I recommend you pull back and say, stop. I'm spinning my wheels. I still have 20 items on my task list, but I'm not in the frequency of ease. So I absolutely have to stop. Now, the reason I use the word discipline is because, especially when we are running an urgent task, urgent and important, and we start going into anxiety and overwhelm, what ends up happening is that the brain says, if this doesn't happen, then essentially the world will collapse. How will it? Right? Is it really true? So if you step out and say, no, the world existed for thousands of years, it's a very good chance it will still exist by tomorrow, with me or without me. So what do I really need to do in this moment? Or what frequency am I in? Because that's not ease. And what I do when this happens, I literally drop everything. I look outside and beautiful trees, plants. I take a deep inhale. I take a dog for a walk. I stop because frequency of hardship can produce what?
Stress,
Yeah,
lack,
Hard.
judgment.
hardship.
Yeah, hardship.
Frequency of hardship produces hardship. Frequency of ease produces ease. Energy does not lie.
Right.
Frequency does not lie. So when we spend time reflecting on the frequency of success, is because frequency of success produces what?
Success.
Yeah, guys, this is so easy. Once you understand, that's
It makes so much sense, Dagmar.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, but we don't process world energetically, and then we are in a hardship, and we're like, well, why am I not getting the results? I mean, I wrote the articles and I made speeches and I've gone to summits, I am in networking events, I'm in front of my computer for 12 hours. Why it is not showing up in my checking account? Because you are on the frequency of hardship. And if you're in hardship, then you can produce only hardship. That's it. 2 + 2 will always equal 4. There's no way of getting 10 out of 2 + 2. So even math is teaching us is that what you add to the equation is the result that you get. That's that simple. An email sent on agitation, anxiety. Let's say you've got a prospecting email. And what's going through your mind is like, oh, I don't know, maybe she's not going to like it. And she'll think I'm pushy. And she probably will not be able to afford my business. And on and on and on. Then congratulations. She's going to think you're pushy. She's not going to be able to afford your service and everything else you put in there because that's what you send out. And because of that, that's the only thing you can allow back in. So if you're going to send that email on that kind of thinking, I encourage you to stop, reframe and say, my clients love me. They can't wait to work with me. They're always searching for opportunities to engage with me. And then send the email. Because you just open the door so that the client can walk through. Instead of saying, I'm going to shut it down and hope that somehow magically my client will want to work with me, when what I'm really sending her is the invitation not to work with me. Because I already told her I'm going to be pushy. I already told her she's not going to be able to afford me. And I did it all in frequency. Even though my words say, Sarah, I can't wait to see you. The energy says, ooh, you don't like me. And I'm afraid you're going to judge me. And energy never lies. All right. So we're coming to the end. Does anyone want to hop on the hot seat or just talk about what's resonating, how you're implementing this in your next 10 years, anything at all? Let's anchor it in.
I love what you just said, and I apologize. I had to step off for a school thing with my son. I love what you just said about in like having that energy of my clients love me and they want to work with me, because so often, like you said, you're sending an email and you're like, oh, am I bugging them? Like, am I, inviting them to another thing? You know what I mean? And it's, yeah, I love that idea of like, no, they're like ecstatic to be able to work with me and they're thrilled to be able to invited to an event and things like that. And I do get tons of texts and emails and things when people can't come to something and they say like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm busy. Please keep sending, I get tons of things saying, please keep me on your list. Please keep sending. Sorry, I haven't been able to get to one. Because it's easy to think if somebody hasn't gone to one, to something that they don't want the invitation, but I get tons of data saying, yes, I want to be invited and thank you for including me. But it's still, I love what you said because it's the default. I think the easy way is to think like, oh, well, maybe I'm bugging them. Maybe they don't want to come versus like, no, the data says they want to be invited and they would love to come and have time with me. So I really love what you just said. And I need to like tell my brain more of that going into this year, I think.
Wonderful.
Can I make a little comment on that, Sarah?
Yes.
I really don't appreciate you assuming what I feel. Send me the damn email. I don't appreciate you trying to figure out what I feel.
Oh, you mean if I assume that you don't want to hear from me?
Yeah, if you're sending me an email,
okay.
I don't appreciate you judging what I'm going to say. You don't know what's going on in my life.
Okay.
You don't know how I feel.
Okay, then I'll just keep sending all the joy and happiness that's in my life and see if you want to come.
Exactly. Different things are going on in my life you can't even imagine.
Oh, so many people.
So don't make any assumptions about me.
Okay.
And Sarah, I would just love to be there in Texas to be able to come. So I'm there vicariously all the way from Australia.
I know.
One day I will be.
I know. If you ever,
I'm coming.
We have so many members in Texas. We can make it. You'd meet so many people in Dallas specifically.
I'm coming. I'm coming. But
okay, let us know when. Let us know when.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same as Sarah. I feel I get in my own way. My thoughts get in my own way. So you've just given me some amazing tools, and I really appreciate that. So thank you. Amazing.
Wonderful. And I like what Alison said. We can't assume what a person wants or doesn't. For example, I'm so busy that I like people who persistently provide me information because I might miss 11 and the 12th one will come at the right time. And I do the same. If you are connected to me on LinkedIn and you expressed an interest in an event and you didn't make it to it, I will keep inviting you until you come. because you were interested. You raised your hand, and yes, life happens. You didn't make it. So I will keep inviting you until one day when the universe will create a perfect synchronicity, when it's perfect time for you, perfect time for me, and the stars will collide. And I have no problem doing that because, as I've always said to, even when I ran the network marketing company, I train my team. Let's not assume what people need. Let them self-select. And I do the same thing with the Athena Circle events. I want my clients to decide for themselves. Do they want to come? Do they want to participate, right? And when you take yourself out of the equation, then it's not a problem. In fact, think about it. When you walk into a grocery store, you don't have the manufacturers of all these products sitting there wondering, I don't know, I'm kind of in her face. She can't pass me without seeing me. And I'm putting the 3 for 22 in her face. And then there's a flyer. And then I send her notification. She probably hates me. She thinks I'm pushy. But there, I took the entire aisle for my brand of milk because I don't want her to miss me. None of them have these problems. I don't understand why. Because why does the milk, regular milk, does not think about all these things vis-a-vis the oat milk or the almond milk? Why they're not having problems with putting themselves in my face? Well, maybe because I actually want groceries and it's okay to be passing by. Because how many of you have gone to the grocery store? You didn't take a list with you, but because mayo was in front of your face, you were like, that's right, I need mayo. So it just showed up at the right time and you grabbed it. So thank you so much for participating with me on this call. I do want to make an invitation to you. I've launched a brand new series called the Cosmic Portals of Power. And these are the really high level guided meditations and quantum activations designed to help you shift out of where you are and into who you want to be. And I've got a special promo code for Leadership Global, all capital letters, to save $100. So I hope that you will check it out. And if you like this kind of work, each activation is like a mini workshop, guided meditation, lots of breakthrough, and a work in a very small, intimate group. So our first event comes for the Valentine's Day, and we're going to work on self-love. So learning how to say no instead of yes to everybody else, learning how to prioritize your vision, your mission, and your needs before you hop and start serving everybody else's. We're going to talk about releasing toxic relationships, cutting cords with both people in your life that were detrimental, but also cutting the cords to past events and really stepping into compassion. I also will be teaching you a simple exercise that uses frequency of self-love and self-acceptance to quickly dissolve whatever limiting belief is running within you. So lots is happening, and I would love to see you there. This series allows you to purchase the entire package at a discounted price, and you get recordings. So you will have access to the membership portal. These activations are encoded in time, so you can be popping them anytime you need a refresher or a bit of expansion.